We are back with a recap of the Blue Jackets home opener against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to get right into it with the good and the bad, starting with the bad because that's the most obvious when you lose a game 5-2. I feel like the power play being unable to convert with the amount of chances that they got, especially with that long 5-on-3 to end the second period, was disappointing. They did look competent at times. You know, it's not like last game where Laine was injured and they were shuffling power play lines all around. There did seem to be a lot more cohesion than there was against Carolina, but still, you have that long 5-on-3. You should be able to convert. I know that this power play really misses Patrik Laine, but there should be enough guys on this roster that are able to at least get one goal in with all these chances. And again, it's a 5-on-3 for 90 seconds. You should be able to get at least one goal in on there. And I feel like after the first period, the offense in general just kind of lacked, consistency. They had some chances here and there, but they never really got a full dominant shift and maybe they did, but they never really got them back to back. And obviously after the first period, they weren't able to get on the scoreboard again. They were done after that Nyquist goal. The puck luck for the Jackets didn't work out for them at all. They had two of the 5 goals against them going off of defenders' skates with both I think Boquist and Jake Bean. They both had goals that go off of their skates. By the way, Jake Bean is not doing very well, in my opinion, on the third pair. I think it's only a matter of time before Nick Blankenburg steps in. Maybe Lars uses the excuse that, it's a back-to-back, don't want to, I guess the durability for Jake Bean, but I do feel like it's a matter of time before Nick Blankenburg gets an opportunity to prove that he is a better fit on that third pairing. The Ross Colton goal to put the Lightning up 3-2 was inexcusable. You have veteran guys out there that are just kind of half skating to the puck, and Ross Colton's able to grab it, get a shot that goes in. Maybe Tarasov, you could argue, should have made that save as he saw it all the way, but I honestly think Tarasov didn't play that bad. And I don't know, I know they're, you can say, they're missing Elvis Merzlikins. How much could Elvis Merzlikins play better than Tarasov? I think Tarasov's done a decent enough job, but when you have goals going in off of skates and Ross Colton beating almost your entire defense to the puck and getting a open shot on you, how much can Elvis Merzlikins really help improve this team? I feel like the goaltending play that Tarasov has brought through the first 2 games has been quite all right. Elvis, maybe he makes 1 or 2 standing on his head saves that Tarasov doesn't, but still, how much does that count, especially when, again, they've scored 1 goal and 2 goals for a team that's oriented around offense. And again, I know they're missing Patrik Laine, but this team should have depth. That's something that we've been saying as a fan base, that, hey, this organization finally has some decent winger depth, and they just haven't shown up, whether that's because they haven't got the opportunity or just because they just haven't, stepped up to the plate yet. But it is only the second game. I don't want to freak out too much, but I haven't seen much out of these first 2 games as signs of encouragement, especially as Patrik Laine is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. The trend seems to have been that as the game goes on, the Blue Jackets get less and less chances offensively. We saw it against Carolina, where by the third period they were, Carolina's defense was suffocating them, and their forecheck wasn't letting the Jackets get anything going. In this game, they scored 2 goals in the first period. Second period, they kind of get some chances, and then again in the third period, the Lightning pretty much shut it down for the most part. Again, there were some isolated chances that the Jackets did get that they weren't able to convert on, and I just think in general, people are saying, oh, well, we're going to be 0-3 heading into after this weekend, but it's okay because it was against tough teams and stuff like that. This schedule doesn't get any easier anytime soon. They have including these 2, they have about 7 games before they get to Arizona. If this team does not improve their play, they could be 0-7 before they go into Arizona. I'm not kidding. They are playing teams that are legitimately making pushes for the playoffs until Arizona on the 25th. They cannot afford to have a stretch of play that starts now where they're bad and they just lose momentum, because while you don't necessarily clinch a playoff spot at the start of the year, you can definitely work your way to losing one, I think. But it's not all doom and gloom, at least I don't think so. There were some good things that happened in the game, mostly in the first period. Johnny Gaudreau shows up on the scoreboard off of a really nice Justin Danforth assist from behind the net. when I first saw the lineup, I was a little skeptical and critical of Justin Danforth on the first line, but I honestly thought he had a pretty decent hockey game. I don't have many complaints from Justin Danforth. Maybe I know he whiffed on a power play, on that power play near the end of the second period, but besides that, I thought he played a really decent game. I think it's just too bad that Patrick Laine isn't there besides Gaudreau, but no real complaints about Justin Danforth. Besides, maybe somebody else maybe should get that opportunity, but Justin Danforth played fine as far as I'm concerned, and he played better than I expected him to. Kent Johnson also had a really nice assist to Gus Nyquist on his goal. It was a nice backhanded flip pass over like three Lightning defenders, caught Gus Nyquist, and I think that was a 2-on-1 with Cole Sillinger with him. So really nice play from Kent Johnson to show what he can do. Kirill Marchenko down in the AHL, he scored the first AHL goal of the season. He scored within a minute with the Cleveland Monsters, so maybe he gets called up sooner rather than later if he starts to really pop off on the scoreboard down in the AHL, which I think would be nice. I do think, especially with the injury to Patrick Laine, Kirill Marchenko could inject some scoring into the depth wingers that the Jackets seem to have been missing for the first two games. Again, I don't want to freak out too much, but I think the sooner we get some offensive help on the wingers and on the depth further down the lineup, the better that is for me at least. And again, I do want to harp on, Nick Blankenburg does have to come in soon. I think a pairing with him and Goodbranson would at least be visually stunning. Where you have your shortest defenseman and your tallest defenseman on the same pair, that could be, at least it could be funny. The defense hasn't been good, so if you're gonna be bad, at least throw some physical comedy into there. Three Stooges this thing with the tallest and shortest guy. But I'm being a little sarcastic, I know, with this, but I do feel like Blankenburg and Goodbranson might actually work in some weird kind of way. But again, I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but not a lot of encouragement shown from the Blue Jackets in the first two games. And again, I know you can caveat this with, they're missing Patrick Laine, one of their biggest weapons, but they're going to be without him for a while. This schedule to start the season is tough, and if they have a bad stretch and they skid now, then they might dig themselves a hole that they're not going to be able to dig themselves out of. So thank you all for watching the video. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments about this game and the Blue Jackets' chances in the future. They're back at it tomorrow in St. Louis. I believe that game starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you all again for watching, and I will see you at the next one.